Hey guys, Dov here with some more Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer. Do you remember the Beastmaster? He is probably one of the most underrated lords in the game, but a very strong lord choice for the Dark Elves, potentially. I've got him on the chariot here, although I did forget to bring his best ability, the Tormentor Sword, so we'll see how that goes here. But we've got a bit of a beast-themed build, decided to try out the new and improved Charybdis here, with its lower cost and additional HP. We've got a K-Knight Assassin, who I also failed to appropriately select his abilities. He's got two abilities here that I didn't mean to bring. This Black Lotus and Dark Venom are one-time use. Not that they're bad necessarily. Dark Venom in particular makes his weapon damage very high for a short period of time, but I'm just not the biggest fan of those one-time use abilities. Your opponent can kind of outmaneuver you and negate that in many cases, so yeah, instead I would have liked to have had the Tormentor Sword. If I had cut those two abilities, I literally could have just brought the Tormentor Sword instead, but we'll see if that comes back to haunt me. Got a couple of shades here, some Dark Riders with shields, and yeah, this Bolt Thrower also. Red Spears up front. As for Red Legion's High Elves here, he's got Eltharion the Grim up on his Griffin, some Spearmen, Swordmasters of Hoeth in the front line. Got Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, Dragon Princes, and Dragon Princes. A few archers as well. A nice balanced high elf build. You can see the Bolt Throwers kind of exchanging some fire here. The multi-shot will damage the crew, but it's not going to have really much of a chance of destroying the artillery piece itself. I am instead using the anti-large focus shot and trying to actually hit these artillery pieces if I can, but the elf artillery pieces are pretty small targets, so it's tough. Meanwhile, over on the side here, just kind of maneuvering around, using up the ammo on the High Beastmaster. His chariot only does as much as a single Scourge Runner chariot with its missile attack, so it's really not super impactful, but it is some extra DPS you can kind of pick away with here. The chariot's really more for the mass and mobility, and the Tormentor Sword, which I obviously don't have. But what I do have is the Lash ability, which will be very strong with either of these big monsters. This Whiplash here, yeah, charge speed, base weapon damage, armor-piercing weapon damage, and it's quite strong. Quite strong indeed, and you can see here the shades just absolutely wreck those spearmen. Unfortunately, the Dragon Princes are going to get back, though, and get a nice charge here on these shades. I do send in my 3 units of Dark Riders all to just kind of mass side charge these Dragon Princes here. They're going to pull away. As they pull away, I'll continuously get my charge, and these shades are also going to return some fire here. Swordmasters up front, I missed, got a Frost Breath, but just absolutely got stepped on by all of the big beasts. Eltharion now dives down. This is potentially risky for him. He does have the support of some Dragon Princes here, but I've also got Dread Spears, and we're going to go ahead and buff these guys up. Stand your ground being used here, and I believe, yeah, the Whiplash on the Chill Boy. Unfortunately, he can't really get through to Eltharion, but a nice Penumbral Pendulum, actually doing damage to both sides, but definitely trying to get rid of those spears. You can see these Dragon Princes also, again, as they are pulling away from these Dark Riders, the Dark Riders with their 40 charge will actually be able to get quite a few hits here over time. I think the it's hard to say, just from the pure numbers, I think the Dark Riders might win that, but it's hard to say for sure. But as it is, in the front line, I'm trying to push through with these two big monsters, kind of keep them tightened together. Red Legion's doing a good job pouring in fire with these archers from the high ground. They're doing a lot of damage. Same thing with this Bolt Thrower here. My Bolt Thrower is just about done in terms of its crew, but actually has been able to not... Oh, look, right there, just barely took out at the end one of the one of the Bolt Thrower actual pieces there, so not quite a trade, but it's okay. Also pulled those Dragon Princes way out of position. That's fine with me. We're going to throw up a second Manticore Summon. Eltharion popping back up into the air, trying to stay away, but Chili Boy's taking a lot of damage. The Charybdis not quite as much, but still. Nice Flock of Doom there. Will do some damage to those Spearmen. Silver and Guard, they are not, so they will take the full damage from that. Summon Manticore goes down there on some Spearmen, but we've still got these two shades relatively healthy online. They're starting to fire into these Swordmasters who had regrouped here. Got a little mass of infantry trying to chase off the Chili Boy. And Eltharion coming after this Manticore who had been thrown in. I'm not really sure. I think I threw him after the caster, probably. But here comes the Charybdis. Finally, we're able to push through and get to this defensive pocket, start to interrupt this Bolt Thrower, and hopefully chase its crew off. But the Dragon Princes are here. Obviously, the Charybdis will trade okay against them, but Eltharion comes in as well. And it was at this point that I was really, really regretting not having the Tormentor Sword. that melee attack buff, and just being able to freeze Eltharion in place here as well would have been so nice. But more Dragon Princes sweeping up and around. I've promptly forgotten about my Dark Riders with shields. Murderous Prowess is active, though, if I can get them activated. Their extra charge bonus. Chilly Boy also came back, and these shades are just gadding whatever comes close. So there's definitely some mixed results on both sides, but the Charybdis here eating a rear charge from the Dragon Princes. Also a bunch of arrows is going to get routed off, and the Charybdis will not regenerate, unlike the Chilly Boys, so we're in for a little bit of trouble there. The Shadowcaster also getting pushed away here. But my Dark Riders, again, I've completely forgotten about them for the time being. But once we push them up and start to occupy these archers, hopefully we can bring this back. The Chilly Boys here, but Charybdis actually just straight up shatters. Might even go down. Yep, actually just goes down straight up. But that does mean that these Dragon Princes were in the line of fire of the Shades for quite a while. And the Chill's still regenerating. I'm going to throw one of the Dark Riders into the Dragon Princes to just hold them back. And the other two are going to come through. Get on these archers, utilize that decent charge bonus. And yeah, these archers are going to have a pretty bad time on that. I mean, they do have okay stats still. The martial prowess was active, still is active momentarily, but Chilly Boy getting a nice side breath here. Doesn't quite do as much damage as I would have liked to those Swordmasters, but does debuff their speed a little bit. And Chariot Lord also, still about half HP, 77 kills, has just been rolling over infantry left and right. Dark Riders pull away for a bit of a cycle charge here. Balance power still very close, though. Eltharion is very scary, and if he can finish off the Beastmaster here, the Chilly Boy could have some problems. But we'll see. Likewise, the Chill with the Frostbite, if I can catch Eltharion out on the ground and you know, get the Chill buffed up, I should be able to win. Here we're going to do just that. Beast Slaver on the Beastmaster himself and the Whiplash being used. Eltharion's going to go ahead and pull away from there, but the Dark Rider's coming around for another timing push, routing away as many of these units as we can, and there's a lot of routing units up on this high ground, so we're going to push a couple units of Dark Riders just past. I mean, it looks like maybe all three. Push them past, try and get them to go, you know, chase those units off the field. Beastmaster just absolutely riding here. Pulls away. Eltharion's able to pop back up in the air, but at this point, chasing all those routing units, last these Swordmasters and other Spearmen and so on, getting gadded. We've still got these Shades. They're just about out of ammo, but it's finishing off a few ground troops there. Dark Rider, it's just such a cost-effective unit for what they do. I am quite a fan, as you guys may know. Air-to-air, the ground-to-air breath, rather, didn't really work out too well. Didn't even tag him, I don't think, with the Frostbite. Yep, still full speed. But Eltharion will fight to the end. He is a grim bro. Not quite as grim as, you know, Volkmar on his chariot. He won't fight truly to the death. But he is pretty grim. Can make himself unbreakable for a short period of time. Gonna come in here and chase away these Dark Riders. Try and bail out his mage if he can. Mage just barely hanging on to her leadership there. But Eltharion can't be everywhere at once, so just come in once again, finish off this mage. That should be army losses, we'll see. Looks like the Shades pull up. Oh, had a tiny bit of ammo left. Oh man, Beastmaster might pay the ultimate price here. Eltharion gets a self-cast of Apotheosis. It is going to hold him there momentarily, but the Dark Riders now charge in. Once again, Eltharion actually pretty healthy at this point, but the Dark Riders, look at that charge bonus. Actually takes a pretty decent amount of damage on the charge there. Yeah, look at it kind of start to drop. And more importantly, they're holding him in place so that the big boy can come. Oh yeah, I love the Chill of Sontar. Such a cool regiment of renown. And that's it. Eltharion is done. So, well played to Red Legion. Super fun battle. Very close there at the end. And I have to say, it would have been a bit easier if I would have had the Tormentor Sword, but didn't even highlight either. The Canine Assassin was like on a journey kind of up. You guys probably saw him trying to disrupt on the high ground there, like going after the caster and stuff, but Red Legion did a good job of zoning him out, and then Eltharion just destroyed him at one point. I did not highlight in the battle, but that did happen. But how about those Shades? 109, 112 kills. Was able to keep them safe the whole time from the Dragon Princes, and they just mopped up shop. Eltharion busy kind of helping deal in the front line. The Charybdis and Chill both at different points were focused down by the archers, by various targets. Nice rear charges by the Dragon Princes as well. These guys have relatively low armor, so Dragon Princes on the charge will do quite a bit of damage. They got kind of big hitboxes too. But the Chill kind of shows why the regeneration is so important here. The Charybdis, I think, is okay. I might start trying it in some more matchups with that little bit more HP. It's just, you know, it's a little bit better, I think. I still think I don't know, Double Hydra might just straight up be better, but there are some situations in certain rule sets as well where you couldn't take regular Hydra with the Chill, so you'd have to just take the Charybdis plus the Chill, and I do think it works pretty well. The Beastmaster also on that Chariot mount, quite strong. In my opinion, can be at least. He's pretty cheap, too. If we go ahead and have a look here. High Beastmaster. Yeah, only 500 points he pays for that Chariot mount, which is not too much. All things considered, Tormentor Sword, 1773. And he doesn't have too much HP, but you saw there, if you keep him mobile, he can be kept alive relatively decently. He also has the Stand Your Ground for more melee defense, which is great for him. Puts him above 50 melee defense, which for a Chariot's quite strong. This Featherfall Torque also might be worth bringing if you think your opponent's going to have a powerful flying lord, which against the High Elves might be a good call. That minus 15 armor, minus 9 melee defense might not seem like much, but it definitely helps. If we have the points, we'll come back and grab that, but I mostly wanted the K-Knight Assassin here for the Assassin's Trophy. Likewise, this Web of Shadows is really good against Elite Cavalry if he ends up getting surrounded, but just for cheapness' sake, we'll do that. And for thematic sake, of course, you got to take Lore of Beasts with the High Beastmaster, right? I don't know if there's really any other way to do it. So Manticore summons. And Flock of Doom, definitely your standard loadout there. And yeah, the Charybdis plus the Chill, they both just synergize so well with the High Beastmaster. He can run around on his chariot, kind of be a distraction, work on enemy infantry, and be a little bit more mobile. And then when your opponent tries to catch him out or snipe him, you pull back to the safety of the Charybdis and the Chill. If your opponent dives, then you can pop that Tormentor Sword and, you know, buff up the Chill and the Charybdis with the Lash and just absolutely get it done. It's pretty good, I have to say. I'll have to try this out a little bit more, but it seems promising. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.